Okay, so yesterday was Wizard World Chicago, and overall it was pretty good. If you were an advance ticket holder, you actually had to stand outside in line for 40 minutes before you could get in. Where if you didn't buy a ticket in advance, you actually could just walk out, buy a ticket, and be inside in a few minutes. So that $5 that I saved buying a ticket in advance, then once you add in the $4.95 convenience charge per ticket, so you have to save about like a nickel a ticket, and then stand outside in line, just so I could get my actual ticket to go inside. That's kind of horrible. And once you walk in, it's all the media guests. Primarily because at Wizard, they don't have DC, Marvel, Image, Top Cow. Those companies do not show up anymore. So instead you get, the cast of Buffy. But not ones like, Charisma Carpenter or Sarah Michelle Gellar. Highest one was like James Marster. So if you want to stand in line for a long time to get his autograph, you could do that. A lot of wrestlers. Awesome to meet Shane Douglas, as well as Lita, and Diamond Dallas Page, who was really selling his YRG. That's his Yoga for Real Guys fitness routine thing. Kind of interesting. And so once you walked in, it was just a mob of all the media people. My buddy wanted me to get Lou Ferrigno. We walked that area a couple of times, did not find it. Don't know if he got put someplace else. The volunteers were about as helpful as wallpaper. They really didn't know much. Primarily, they try to, keep lines organized. I don't know how many times talent would be walking around and they would get stuck in a mob of people. Not people that's wrong, just a mob of people. I'm trying to go this way, mob's going that way. It's just not happening. So yeah, I think John Schneider, I think he was Bo from the Dukes of Hazzard. He got stuck in a mob of people. I saw the line cross in front of me because people just, it's just a madhouse in most areas. Did get to, ironically, where the comics are sold, and Artist Alley. So a comic convention that is entirely wide open once you get to the comics and the artist side. That means something wrong with your comic convention if it's primarily, Adam West, William Shatner, Burt Ward, a bunch of wrestlers, TV personalities, Adrian Curry, one of the monkeys. And it's just a mob of those people right in front. Very few in the way of giveaways because when you have no actual comic book sponsors. And since it was in Chicago, you could have got an autograph from Rod Blagojevich. Yes, the former governor. Or an autograph. You get an autograph for 50, photo op for 80. So really nice of the crowd would boo. So all in all, it was okay. I mean, you got to walk the artist alley a lot, and that was actually fairly fun. Got to see Moose, haven't seen Moose in a long time. Got him to sign lots of my stuff, got another lithograph from him. Most of what you see behind me is stuff from him. It was great to touch base with him, find out what he's been up to. Got stuff signed by, McConey, Medina. And, a lot of it was just spent kind of trying to find out where people were. They didn't give out maps. I guess you had to grab a map, as opposed to giving you the little bag with the map in it so you could find out where things were located. And that was kind of depressing. Last year's was kind of bad. This year's was... It's gone downhill fast. It's no longer to do with comics. It's a pop culture thing. And they pushed the costume contest, which used to be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so people would wear costumes most of the day, to 6:30 to 9. Place shuts down at 7. So people showed up in costumes. They start showing up till around 5 o'clock. By then it's I've been geared up all day long, let's go get a bite to eat. I got my stuff signed, you got your stuff signed, you got stuff you wanted to buy. I guess we're done. This used to be, I'd be there for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because they always had enough comic guests to get a lot of stuff signed. Now there's a lot less. Artist Alley, it was spaced well. You at least could walk around it now. And it was weird because there was just so much empty space. There was a lot less people. It's easier to get to people because most people weren't there for comics. They were there for everything else but comics. and I got to run into a friend of mine that I haven't seen in about a decade. I used to work with him, so let me go grab his sketchbook real quick. So a guy I used to work with a long time ago, Jewel, it's a guy, you know, he finally got a decade ago he was trying to get in the comics, and all of a sudden he's got, you know, sketchbook. You know, stuff isn't actually that bad. You know, so if you happen to actually want to find him, he is on Facebook. You know, Jewel Walton, Jewell Walton. You know, pretty good stuff. You know, I will say this, I'm actually fairly impressed with this. It was actually done fairly well. You know, I guess with there being less people there, it's easier for more indie artists and local talent to actually, you know, get spots there, which I guess is a benefit. But if you're trying to get people to come from large distances to go to a comic convention, and it's not discussing comics anymore, it's kind of failing in some ways. You know, it was still an okay time. I'll probably still going next year, depending on, you know, who they've got for talent wanting to get signed. But looks like for Chicago, C2E2 is the way to go.